Stories and Documentary Network.
Deep within the dense jungles of Cambodia, where vines twist around crumbling stone and the air hums with unseen life, lies the remnants of a civilization that once rivaled the greatest empires in human history. The Khmer Empire, flourishing between the 9th and 15th centuries, was a world of monumental temples, vast reservoirs, and cities sprawling across the landscape, now largely reclaimed by the jungle. Angkor, its beating heart, was more than a city. It was a testament to human ingenuity. Here, stone towers rose like mountains, canals channeled life-giving water, and temples aligned with the stars. Yet the secrets behind this monumental achievement remain elusive. How did the Khmer transport millions of sandstone blocks across rivers and dense forests? How did they create hydraulic systems capable of sustaining a population that may have exceeded 1 million? And how did they carve structures with astronomical precision, without tools that modern engineering would deem sufficient? Modern archaeology, LIDAR technology, and careful study are only beginning to peel back the layers of this mystery. The more we uncover, the more profound the enigma becomes. The Khmer left no manuals, no blueprints, only the whispers of their brilliance etched into stone, waiting for us to decipher. What lost knowledge did the Khmer possess, and why did it vanish so completely? The story of the Khmer Empire begins in the 9th century, when Jayavarman Sen united fragmented chiefdoms under a single banner, declaring himself a Devaraja, or God King. With divine authority legitimizing his rule, he laid the foundation for a civilization that would dominate Southeast Asia for centuries. But vision alone could not create Angkor. The Khmer had to transform an untamed landscape into a thriving metropolis. The jungles and floodplains of Cambodia were as formidable as they were fertile. The Khmer cleared vast tracts of forest, redirected rivers, and built roads connecting distant provinces to the imperial capital. Their ambition was not merely to survive, but to create a reflection of cosmic order on Earth. Temples became mountains, reservoirs mirrored oceans, and every canal and roadway was part of a grand design linking the heavens, the king, and the people. By the 11th century, Angkor had grown into a sprawling city, larger than any contemporary European capital. Palaces, markets, and artisan districts surrounded temples dedicated to Hindu gods and later Buddhist practices. Unlike other medieval cities, Angkor was not walled. It spread like a living organism, its expansion guided by careful planning rather than chance. Central to this planning was the Khmer mastery of water. Seasonal floods and droughts threatened crops and livelihoods, yet through a network of canals, dikes, and reservoirs, they controlled the flow of rivers, turning the capricious tropical climate into a lifeline for the population. Rice fields flourished, trade routes thrived, and the city's prosperity became legendary. The Khmer also integrated spirituality into urban design. Temples were positioned to symbolize Mount Meru, the cosmic mountain, with moats representing the oceans. Every street, canal, and building contributed to a delicate balance between utility, religion, and power. This was not mere engineering. It was a civilization sculpted from both earth and belief. The growth of Angkor demanded incredible organization and knowledge. Workers transported stone over long distances, quarried materials with precision, and coordinated construction projects that spanned decades. The result was a city that amazed visitors for centuries, a testament to human ingenuity and ambition. Yet, with great complexity came vulnerability. The very systems that allowed Angkor to thrive would later test its resilience. The Khmer had harnessed nature, but could they control it forever? The answers lay in the ingenuity of their water management, an achievement that remains one of history's greatest engineering mysteries. Water was the lifeblood of Angkor. The Khmer did not merely adapt to their environment, they reshaped it. Rivers were diverted, wetlands drained, and an intricate network of canals, dikes, and reservoirs, known as barrays, was constructed to manage water with unparalleled sophistication. The barrays were monumental. The West Barray, for example, stretches over 8 kilometers in length and 2 kilometers in width, capable of holding more than 50 million cubic meters of water. These reservoirs were not only practical, they were symbolic, mirroring the cosmic oceans that surrounded Mount Meru in Khmer cosmology. Water flowed through Angkor not only to nourish crops, but to reinforce the king's divine authority. A tangible demonstration of power over nature. Modern technology has revealed the astonishing scale of the Khmer hydraulic system. LIDAR scans have uncovered a web of canals and embankments stretching hundreds of kilometers, connecting temples, cities, and rice fields. This was a network that balanced storage and distribution, able to withstand seasonal floods and periods of drought alike. It was modular, adaptable, and precise, far beyond what European medieval engineering could achieve. Managing such a system required extraordinary knowledge. Canals were aligned to prevent stagnation, reservoirs were positioned to optimize irrigation, and spillways were carefully engineered to handle excess water during monsoon surges. The Khmer also integrated maintenance into their design. Silt could be removed, embankments repaired, and water flow adjusted as needed, an early form of urban hydrodynamics. Yet the genius of the Khmer water system may have been both a blessing and a curse. Scholars now speculate that climatic changes in the 14th and 15th centuries, prolonged droughts followed by intense monsoons, may have overwhelmed this vast network. Reservoirs overflowed, canals became clogged, and the finely tuned system that had sustained millions faltered. The hydraulic infrastructure that had been the empire's strength may have contributed to its decline. The Khmer's understanding of water went beyond practicality. Their berets, canals, and moats were aligned with spiritual principles designed to reflect cosmic order. Water was not merely a resource, it was a medium of power, faith, and cosmology. This integration of technology, ecology, and religion underscores the sophistication of Khmer engineering. Consider the scale. A city capable of feeding 1 million people in a tropical environment, entirely dependent on its control of water, constructed without modern machinery. Roads, bridges, canals, and reservoirs were built with precise gradients, coordinating rainfall, river flow, and seasonal variation. Every structure was interconnected, a living hydraulic organism. And yet, many aspects remain mysterious. How did the Khmer survey such vast tracts of land with such precision? What tools or techniques allowed them to calculate gradients and flows accurately? Some researchers suggest a combination of observational astronomy, empirical measurement, and iterative design, but the full methodology remains lost to history. The Khmer Empire thrived because it could tame water, yet even this incredible mastery could not ensure eternity. Their brilliance, etched into stone and soil, hints at knowledge we are only beginning to understand, and secrets that may never be fully revealed. Towering above the jungle canopy, Angkor Wat is more than a temple. It is a testament to vision, devotion, and Khmer engineering mastery. Built in the early 12th century by King Suryavarman II, it remains the largest religious monument on Earth, constructed from nearly 5 million tons of sandstone. Its scale, precision, and artistry are staggering, a blend of spiritual symbolism and architectural ingenuity that continues to confound modern scientists and engineers alike. Angkor Wat's design is profoundly cosmic. The temple's central towers rise like Mount Meru, the mythical axis of the universe in Hindu cosmology, while its surrounding moats represent the encircling cosmic oceans. Its walls, carved with bas-reliefs stretching for kilometers, depict epic narratives from the Ramayana and Mahabharata, but closer inspection reveals something extraordinary. Embedded within the stonework are astronomical alignments, calendrical markers, and geometric patterns that map the heavens. The Khmer were not only builders, they were astronomers, embedding the stars into stone. Transporting sandstone blocks from distant quarries, often more than 50 kilometers away, posed an immense challenge. Without wheeled carts suitable for heavy loads, how did the Khmer manage this feat? Scholars propose floating the stones along rivers during the wet season, dragging them across prepared earthen roads, or employing ingenious lever systems. But no definitive evidence exists. What is clear is that their success required not just manpower, but mathematical and logistical sophistication. The craftsmanship of Angkor Wat is equally astonishing. The sandstone blocks fit with such precision that a blade cannot pass between them, and intricate carvings cover walls, pillars, and lintels with meticulous symmetry. Did the Khmer use lost tools or techniques, now vanished with time? Did they employ natural abrasives, wooden templates, or advanced knowledge of stone properties. Modern experiments can approximate their methods, yet none fully replicate the flawless results seen across the complex. Angkor Wat was not an isolated achievement. Across the empire, temples like the Bayon, with its enigmatic smiling faces, Taprom, entwined with massive tree roots, and Bafuan, a mountain temple of extraordinary scale, each reveal another layer of Khmer ingenuity. Many structures are aligned with solstices, lunar phases, and celestial events, suggesting that the Khmer combined religion, mathematics, and astronomy in ways that remain deeply mysterious. Yet for all their grandeur, the temples are silent. No texts explain their construction, no blueprints survive, and no instructions reveal the methods behind their hydraulic integration or architectural precision. Every tower, every stone, every carved face is a puzzle, a riddle encoded in stone that continues to captivate scholars, architects, and travelers. Standing among the spires of Angkor Wat, one cannot help but feel the pull of a question. Was this monumental achievement the result of sheer devotion and coordinated labor, or did the Khmer possess knowledge and techniques now lost to humanity? The temples of Angkor Wat do not just rise from the jungle, they rise from mystery itself, inviting us to decode the minds of a civilization that seemed to touch the heavens. The Khmer Empire's architectural wonders were built not merely with ambition, but with mastery over materials and methods that modern engineers struggle to understand. Stone, wood, and water were their primary tools, yet the way they combined these elements remains a profound mystery. Sandstone was quarried from distant sites, sometimes over 50 kilometers away. Transporting these massive blocks demanded an orchestration of logistics unmatched for its time. Some historians suggest the use of bamboo rafts, carefully timed with seasonal floods, to float stones along rivers to construction sites. Others propose the creation of earthen roads lubricated with water or sap, allowing sledges to glide heavy blocks across uneven terrain. Yet no single theory fully accounts for the scale and precision achieved. Once at the construction site, the blocks were fitted with near impossible precision. Walls align with mathematical exactitude, corners meet without gaps, and bas-reliefs cover entire surfaces with unparalleled consistency. Researchers have speculated the use of lost binding compounds, natural adhesives, or abrasive techniques that allowed them to shape and polish stone without modern machinery. Could the Khmer have understood properties of stone and friction in ways we have since forgotten? Carving techniques remain equally enigmatic. Thousands of apsaras, dancers, and mythological creatures were etched into stone with flawless symmetry. The level of detail suggests a system, perhaps wooden templates, master apprentices, and highly trained artisans working in teams. But nothing survives to confirm this. It is a testament to human ingenuity that such delicate artistry was maintained across vast complexes spanning decades of construction. Wooden scaffolding and ramps may have assisted in raising blocks to great heights. Earth ramps, gradually built and dismantled, could explain the layering of towers and terraces. But the scale, millions of tons of material moved, suggests the use of engineering knowledge lost over centuries. Each construction was a combination of brute force, careful planning, and deep understanding of structural principles. Khmer engineers also mastered hydraulic integration within their architecture. Drainage channels, moats, and reservoirs were designed to protect the foundations of temples while simultaneously controlling water flow throughout the city. Their understanding of water pressure, soil stability, and erosion control was sophisticated, and yet the exact methods they employed remain unknown. Perhaps the greatest mystery is that the Khmer achieved such feats without leaving behind instructions, blueprints, or texts explaining their methods. Every stone, every canal, every tower is evidence of a civilization capable of extraordinary technical innovation. A civilization whose knowledge has been lost, leaving only puzzles for us to solve. The question lingers. How much knowledge disappeared with the fall of Angkor, and how close were the Khmer to technologies that would not reappear for centuries? Angkor was not merely a collection of temples. It was a mega-city, a thriving urban organism that flourished centuries before comparable European or Chinese cities reached similar scale. Modern research, particularly LIDAR surveys, has revealed a vast network of streets, neighborhoods, and agricultural zones stretching far beyond the temple complexes. Unlike the chaotic medieval cities of Europe, Angkor was meticulously planned, Roads connected villages to markets, temples to reservoirs, and artisans to palaces. Residential clusters were organized to optimize access to water, farmland, and trade routes, while the surrounding countryside was transformed into an interconnected system of rice paddies, canals, and moats. This integration of urban planning and agriculture allowed Angkor to support a population that may have exceeded 1 million at its peak. Sustainability was central to the Khmer approach. The hydraulic infrastructure regulated water distribution, minimized flooding, and ensured fertile rice production year-round. The city's layout also maximized cooling breezes, shade, and access to natural resources, reflecting an advanced understanding of environmental design. Angkor was not only functional but resilient, built to thrive in a tropical climate that could otherwise be hostile. The Khmer demonstrated foresight in governance and resource management. Labor was organized with remarkable efficiency, enabling the simultaneous construction of multiple temple complexes, canals, and public works. Even social organization, villages, artisan workshops, and royal estates, was integrated into the broader urban plan, creating a city where the divine, the civic, and the practical coexisted seamlessly. Yet, beneath this brilliance lay vulnerability. The very complexity that sustained Angkor also made it susceptible to collapse. A single failure in the water system, environmental catastrophe, or disruption of labor could ripple across the metropolis, threatening food security and stability. The Khmer built cities that seemed eternal, but the forces of nature and time would eventually test their limits, reminding us that even the most advanced civilizations are never invincible. For centuries, the glories of Angkor lay hidden beneath the dense Cambodian jungle, obscured by time and nature. While local legends preserved echoes of its majesty, it was not until the 19th century that French explorers began documenting the ruins, revealing towers, causeways, and temples that seemed impossibly vast and intricate. What they discovered sparked questions that remain unanswered even today. How could a civilization of such scale exist in a region that, at the time, was considered remote and undeveloped? In recent decades, modern archaeology has revolutionized our understanding of the Khmer Empire. LIDAR technology, which uses laser scanning from aircraft to see through dense forest canopies, has uncovered the hidden urban network of Angkor. What was once thought to be isolated temple complexes is now recognized as part of a sprawling city, stretching over 1,000 square kilometers. Networks of roads, embankments, and canals connect temples, villages, and farmland, demonstrating a level of urban planning previously unimagined for Southeast Asia. Excavations reveal a wealth of artifacts, inscriptions, tools, ceramics, and remnants of daily life. But there is also a profound absence. The Khmer left no detailed manuals, no architectural blueprints, no explicit records of their hydraulic systems. Unlike the Egyptians, who inscribed construction methods in hieroglyphs, or the Romans, whose texts detailed aqueduct engineering, the Khmer chose silence, letting their achievements speak through stone, water, and earth itself. Even the most basic questions challenge researchers. How were massive sandstone blocks transported across rivers and forests? How were precise alignments achieved without modern surveying instruments? How did the hydraulic network function at a citywide scale, balancing floods and droughts? Archaeologists can trace the outlines and remnants, but the methods remain elusive, like shadows of a once brilliant mind. What emerges is a city alive in complexity, a testament to engineering, administration, and artistry. Each discovery deepens our admiration and amplifies the mystery. Angkor was more than a capital. It was a living organism, its infrastructure and design reflecting a civilization at the pinnacle of technological and cultural sophistication. As we probe further into the layers of Angkor, one question becomes increasingly urgent. What knowledge did the Khmer hold that we have yet to uncover? And what has been lost forever to the jungle? The Khmer Empire did not exist in isolation. Its engineers, architects, and rulers were part of a broader web of ancient civilizations, exchanging ideas, materials, and techniques across vast distances. Trade routes connected Angkor with India, China, and the Islamic world, bringing exotic goods, artisans, and knowledge. Hindu cosmology and Indian architectural principles influenced temple layouts, while Chinese records mention Khmer envoys and gifts, hinting at diplomatic and cultural exchange. Yet the scale and sophistication of Khmer hydraulic and urban engineering remain unparalleled. While Mesopotamia, Egypt, and the Indus Valley developed canals, reservoirs, and irrigation systems, none matched the integration, resilience, and spiritual symbolism of Angkor's water network. The Khmer were not merely importing ideas, they were synthesizing them, adapting foreign concepts to local landscapes, climates, and religious frameworks. Some scholars speculate even more audacious connections. Parallels have been drawn between Angkor's berets and the water management systems of the Maya or aqueducts of Rome, suggesting the possibility of shared, if indirect, knowledge of large-scale hydraulic engineering. However, Angkor's combination of scale, precision, and integration with cosmic symbolism is unique. Trade and knowledge flow likely influenced techniques in metallurgy, ceramics, and stone carving, yet the Khmer adapted these skills to create something entirely their own. Their temples, urban planning, and hydraulic mastery reflect a civilization both connected and singular, standing as a node in a global network while simultaneously achieving innovations never seen elsewhere. Angkor demonstrates that while civilizations can influence each other, some knowledge, the ingenuity of the Khmer, remains distinct, a product of vision, environment, and human imagination converging in extraordinary ways. By the 15th century, the once mighty Khmer Empire had begun to crumble. The reasons for Angkor's decline remain hotly debated, yet the clues suggest a combination of environmental, political, and social pressures. Climate studies reveal cycles of prolonged droughts followed by catastrophic monsoons, stressing the very hydraulic system that had sustained the city for centuries. Canals silted, reservoirs overflowed, and the intricate balance of water distribution faltered. Conflict may have compounded the crisis. Neighboring kingdoms, particularly Ayutthaya, raided Khmer territories, diverting resources toward defense and destabilizing trade networks. At the same time, internal pressures, overextension of labor, monumental construction demands, and possible social unrest strained the empire's capacity to maintain its infrastructure. The collapse was swift, at least in human memory. Angkor was gradually abandoned, the jungle crept back, swallowing roads, embankments, and even some temple complexes. Temples that once rang with ceremonial chants became silent. Reservoirs dried, canals eroded, and once precise urban grids were obscured beneath vegetation. Yet even in decline, Angkor's imprint endured. The monuments remained, testifying to the skill and ambition of a civilization that had mastered its environment. The abruptness of the fall contrasts with the centuries-long accumulation of knowledge, leaving behind a city of mysteries, full of unanswered questions about its rise, its resilience, and its eventual surrender to time. Angkor's sudden decline reminds us that even the most brilliant civilizations are vulnerable, and that the greatest achievements of humanity, engineering marvels, urban innovations, and cultural treasures, can vanish, leaving only whispers of the knowledge once held. Even after decades of research, Angkor continues to guard its deepest secrets. How did the Khmer achieve such precise stone alignments without advanced surveying tools? How were millions of tons of sandstone quarried, transported, and sculpted with a level of accuracy that still baffles modern engineers? Every new discovery seems to deepen the mystery rather than resolve it. The hydraulic network, too, raises questions. Canals, reservoirs, and berets demonstrate a sophisticated understanding of water management. But the exact methods of construction, maintenance, and seasonal adaptation remain uncertain. How did the Khmer calibrate water flow over such vast distances with such precision, centuries before modern hydrology? Even the temples themselves hold enigmatic clues. Astronomical alignments, symbolic layouts, and bas-reliefs suggest a civilization that intertwined cosmic knowledge, spiritual belief, and engineering prowess. Did they have a systematic method for combining these disciplines, now lost to time? Perhaps the most haunting mystery is the absence of explicit records. Unlike other ancient civilizations, the Khmer left no manuals or treatises describing their techniques. Instead, they left monuments, canals, and inscriptions that hint at genius but reveal little. Each ruin, each embankment, each carving is a fragment of a lost knowledge, a whisper from the past that challenges our understanding. The Khmer Empire, in its silence, forces us to confront a profound question. How much of human ingenuity has been lost, And what else remains hidden beneath the jungles of history? Though Angkor was abandoned, the legacy of Khmer engineering endured. The empire's knowledge of water management, urban planning, and monumental construction influenced later kingdoms across Southeast Asia. Techniques developed in Angkor shaped agricultural practices, canal systems, and temple architecture in Cambodia, Thailand, and Laos for centuries. Angkor Wat itself remains an enduring symbol, not just of spiritual devotion, but of human ambition and technological mastery. Pilgrims and tourists alike are drawn to its towers and bas-reliefs, which continue to inspire awe and curiosity. The integration of hydraulic infrastructure, urban planning, and cosmic symbolism set a benchmark for civilizations that followed, even as much of the technical knowledge faded into obscurity. The Khmer example demonstrates the power of vision, planning, and innovation. Centuries after its decline, Angkor informs modern engineering, archaeology, and architecture. Researchers study its canals to understand sustainable water management. Architects marvel at its alignment and geometric precision. Historians debate the social and cultural organization required to sustain such a metropolis. Even today, rice farmers unknowingly follow irrigation patterns first established by Khmer engineers, a subtle echo of their ingenuity in everyday life. Across the globe, Angkor inspires, reminding us that while empires may fall, the echoes of human creativity can resonate for generations. The Khmer Empire may have vanished, but its engineering brilliance continues to ripple across time, a bridge between the past and the present. The story of Angkor is a reminder of the heights humanity can reach and the fragility of those heights. The Khmer Empire rose in grandeur, mastered water, carved mountains into temples, and built cities that spanned forests and plains. Their achievements were not just monumental, they were visionary, combining engineering, astronomy, spirituality, and urban planning in ways that continue to astonish us. Yet even this brilliance could not withstand the forces of nature, conflict, and time. A civilization that tamed rivers and built empires of stone ultimately fell, leaving the jungle to reclaim its territory. What survives is not just stone and water, but the questions they leave behind, the methods we may never fully understand, the knowledge that slipped through history, and the mysteries that still whisper from moss-covered walls. Angkor teaches us that greatness is not permanent, and that the most profound achievements can vanish, leaving only glimpses for future generations. And yet, in those glimpses, we see not just what was lost, but what humanity is capable of. Vision, ingenuity, and the audacity to shape the world itself. As the sun rises over the towers of Angkor Wat, casting their shadows across the ancient causeways, we are reminded that even in silence, the genius of the Khmer Empire speaks, an enduring testament to human creativity and the mysteries that remain forever just beyond our reach.